There will be oversight of that. I've heard about it. I don't know anything about it. But Representative Burchett and Representative Luna on the Oversight Committee are very interested in this issue, and they're taking the lead in this issue.
So there is going to be oversight on this.
We plan on having a hearing.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. So we just heard from James Comer, and he was talking about the upcoming UFO hearings, July 26, 2023. So the purpose of me making this video is to give folks who aren't really aware about this topic, I want to give everybody an idea of who is in fact like pushing the UFO disclosure movement. There's several politicians which we're going to be discussing. This is a movement that's not going to stop. This upcoming UFO hearing is only going to help push it forward. All right, so let's begin. The first person I'd like to talk about is Andre Carson. He's an Indiana congressman. He opened for the 2022 UAP congressional hearing, and his opening statements were pretty profound because they validate the truth of this like UAP issue. Let's hear what he has to say here.
Unidentified aerial phenomena are a potential national security threat, and they need to be treated that way. For too long.
The next person I'd like to talk about is Mike Gallagher, a Wisconsin congressman. He also took part of the first UAP hearing of 2022, and in this next clip, he challenged DoD officials, and he really used his authority to try to get the word, to try to get the truth from them. So let's hear what he has to say there.
All I can speak to is, what's within my cognizance, the UAP task force, and we have not looked at that incident.
Well, I would say, it's a pretty high-profile incident. I don't claim to be an expert on this, but that's out there in the ether. You're the guys investigating it. I mean, who else is doing it?
If something was officially brought to our attention, we would look at it. There are many things that are out there in the ether that aren't officially brought to our attention.
So how would it have to be officially brought to your attention? I'm bringing it to your attention.
Sure, so,
this is pretty official.
Sure. So we'll go back and take a look.
The third person we have is a senator from New York, Kirsten Gillibrand. Well, what's interesting about her is that in 2022, during the National Defense Authorization Act, she put forth UAP amendments. And without her doing that, without her work, we wouldn't be this far. So let's hear what she has to say in this next clip.
Mr. McCord, I was disappointed that for the second year in a row, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, was not fully funded in the department's budget request. Understanding that we cannot get into specific budget figures in this forum, can you discuss why AARO was not fully funded?
Senator, I don't have any information from my colleague, Undersecretary Moultrie, that he needed additional funding in this area. It's a relatively new office we're standing up, so I was under the impression, I am under the impression that we have adequate funding for the relatively new state of this, but I will double back with him if there's a concern.
I need
and then we have Marco Rubio, who is a Florida senator. He also supported the Gillibrand amendment along with, I think it's Senator Gallegos. But not only that, he supported David Grush's claims, and he's also spoken to a handful of other firsthand witnesses who've seen craft and who aren't necessarily yet comfortable with coming forward. So hopefully after this hearing, the people that he's talking about decide to like disclose some more information about what they've seen, what they've experienced, because we really need those people right about now. Let's see. The next person I'd like to talk about is Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. He is leading the 2023 UAP congressional hearing next week on the 26th of July. And what's important to know about him is that for the past couple of years, he's been very vocal, advocating for disclosure, and he's been also challenging the Pentagon and really just showing his distrust for the DoD. What I like about him is that he's done so many interviews, and he's even on Twitter, like being really advocating for this issue. So without him, we probably wouldn't have this. Actually, without him, there wouldn't be this upcoming hearing. So we really have to tip our hats to the man. Let's hear what he has to say in this next clip.
Shut it down. This is ridiculous, folks. They either They do exist or they don't exist. They keep telling us they don't exist, but they block every opportunity for us to get a hold of the information to prove that they do exist. And we're going to get to the bottom of it, dadgummit, whatever the truth may be. We're done with the cover-up.
This next politician I'd like to talk about is Anna Luna, a Florida congresswoman who will also be leading the July 2023 UAP congressional hearing. In this next clip that I show of hers, she's going to be talking about how she advocated for UAP transparency from the Eglin Air Force Base commander. And as she put it, she was stonewalled. So let's hear what she has to say.
Yeah, of course. It was the commanding general of Eglin Air Force Base. And ultimately, even before we got down there, the Pentagon actually tried to cancel the field hearing. And also, it's important to note that these were whistleblowers. These were pilots that had come forward to Representative Gates' office with information saying this needs to be investigated. We have an increase in sightings in this region. And it's a cause for concern for national security reasons. We don't know what it is. So we went down there. We were stonewalled. They would not give us access to testimony from some of the pilots. They were hiding images and information.
We were told there was pictures available, which we still haven't seen.
And ultimately what ended up happening is we had to actually call House Armed Services. Chairman Rogers got involved. The Pentagon got involved. The Department of the Air Force got involved. We actually got into an argument with the general of that base. And it's important.
So it's very unfortunate that we have these politicians going to these Air Force bases to try to talk to these witnesses and being blocked, really. I would say it's an illegal thing for a general to not allow a congressperson to hear from witnesses and to see video footage, to see pictures rather. So yeah, this person should be held accountable for not allowing the truth to come out. Whether it's being removed from their position or it's just having them get a second chance and allow these politicians to come to their base and get the truth. So shame on him. Then we have Chuck Schumer, another New York senator. What's cool about him is that he's sponsoring the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act. And he's including amendments that will talk about UAP disclosure, as shown in this clip. And he will also talk about NHI, the non-human intelligence piece. I feel that it's really important to mention Chuck Schumer because without him, we wouldn't have these pieces in the NDAA coming up. And also, we wouldn't have amendments in there that talk about supporting any whistleblowers are going to be coming out. And there's another piece that talks about anyone with information of reverse back engineered technology has 60 days from the day that this act is put in place. That's 60 days from January, basically, January 2024. So they got from January, February, March, maybe like beginning of March to like come forward with this information. And this is only going to help push disclosure even further. So tip my hat out to Chuck Schumer. And the last politician I'd like to talk about is Harry Reid. Unfortunately, he passed away not too long ago, but he was the former Nevada senator, and he was the one who originally secured $22 million for ATIP, that program that was studying the phenomenon back in 2007. So realistically, without Harry Reid, we wouldn't have ATIP, we wouldn't have Lou Elizondo, and we wouldn't have had that New York Times article that disclosed all the information about the things that Harry Reid put in place. So once again, tip my hat off to Harry Reid. Check out my video about Harry Reid that I made about 6 months ago. It kind of gives a little bit highlights on the things that he's done. And also stay tuned for the upcoming hearing, July 26, 2023. I'm going to be doing a live stream of it if I get enough viewers, of course. So please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff so we can get the word out and so I can get some viewers for my channel. So be ready for my next video. And check out the links that I have provided in the description. And yeah, that's it. See you on the next one.